Here's a fun fact for you. Today I have released one video, recorded and edited 9 separate videos for an upcoming series you may or may not see depending on how lazy I am. But I'm still not satiated, and so my never-ending hunger for producing content now leads me to making more Among Us. My name's Dobby and welcome to Gameception Among Us in Minecraft, part 4? Anyway, I realised last time I made quite a few mistakes. First of all, the 2 timed sabotages being Reactor and O2, which are both here. There's quite a large problem in them, in that if there's an emergency meeting happening while one of those sabotages is taking place because somebody reported a body or something, the countdowns are still going to run, which means at the end of the meeting it will be game over. So at some point I'll have to devise a system that can freeze the countdown somehow, and I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to do that. But the far larger problem is the door system I made last time. You see, say I'm an imposter, and I just close these doors, and now there's a crewmate in here, and I just assume that those doors close as well. And I decided last time I wasn't going to bother doing a countdown, simply because of the space for the redstone. I decided all that would happen is you'd have to unclick the lever to open the door. But the problem is, if you're inside, there is no such lever, which leaves me with the conundrum of how would someone get out unless they just have to wait for someone else to open the door. Essentially, because I just got lucky in that when the lever is off, the door is closed, and when it's on, the door is open, I can just have a button that leads directly into the same place as the lever. So when the lever's off, I can give it a brief pulse from a button on the other side, which will open the door momentarily. So right now, the door's closed, and we have a crewmate trapped over here. What they can do is just reach up, press this button, which will cause that door to open briefly, and then go out, and just flick that lever to keep it open. The mistake I made was in the comm system. You see, I thought the only thing you could do, or couldn't do with comms, was block the use of admin and of the cameras. But I forgot that it also stops you seeing what your tasks are. And I can't really work that into the game here because I can't stop looking at your inventory. I did think maybe I could not have anything in the inventory and instead just use ender chests, then I could block access to the ender chests. But if you do remember your tasks, which is possible when you play the real game, you are still able to complete them. And you can't do that with the system I just told you about, because you need the physical item in order to complete the task. And I don't want to, if you remember the task, you should be able to complete it. That's just unfair. So my solution is, there's going to have to be some sacrifices, and this would have to be one of them. That brings us to today, where we are going to be working on meetings, reporting bodies, and possibly more, depending on how lazy I am. So I thought for a long time about how to get people into the meeting room, and eventually I decided I'm going to use 2 methods. Number 1, ender porters, and number 2, beds. So ender porters for the general meetings, just if I need to get everyone in there, but beds because if you die, if you're killed by an imposter, then I need to get you back to the meeting room so the system knows that you've died. So that's why I'm going to do that. And I did briefly consider just using beds and killing every player in the map simultaneously to get them into the meeting room. Keep inventory will be on, obviously. But I have no idea how I can orchestrate something that would kill everyone, besides replacing every single block of floor with dispensers full of lava, or all the ceiling with dispensers full of arrows, So, no, that's not going to happen. So, first is how I'm going to get the players to land back down without taking full damage, because I don't know yet, but there's probably going to be a lot of redstone, which means I'm going to want to make this thing fairly high, not to mention all the redstone that's already quite high, so this needs to be quite a way up in the world. So I'll need to have some sort of water down there, and I'm thinking a waterlogged chest, for the reasons you'll soon see. But I just found out the hard way that waterlogged chests do not prevent fall damage. This might be a bug, it might be that I've seen too many Java Edition videos and I play Bedrock Edition, I don't know. But I'm just going to scrap the chests and have a pool of water. That should work, hopefully. Yay, I'm not dead! So I've started work up here, as you can see. So what I'm planning to do is have one of these pod things for every player. So there'll be 10, I know you can go up to 15 now, but when I started building this, it's 10. The admin system, wherever it is, only has 10 lights. So we're going to keep it at 10. Each player will have their own pod, they'll set their spawn, so that whenever they die, they come back here. And then this chest will be full of ender pearls. And what the player does with those ender pearls then is, assuming he got teleported here instead of being killed, a meeting is called, they get teleported here. They stand here and look roughly a third along the side of the honey block. You can throw it there. You can't use the design for an ender pearl you've normally seen, because that is only for Java Edition. And then this is just to simulate it for now. But this block here will actually retract, and that still triggers the ender pearl. So if I have a system that just does this, and you get stuck in the block, you can just jump out like that. And then, this is for discussion time in here, so you can't vote yet, because this door, this is a door, will be closed. Then it opens, you vote out here, and then you come down here to drop down, and you drop down like that. Now for the doors, they're 1 wide 3x3 piston doors, which I will never get tired of making. I adjusted it slightly to make it a bit narrower, and you can see here, I've sort of, because it's a mirror, each one is a mirror image of the previous one, I can sort of merge, like this column here is for both doors. Merged them into each other just to save space, because 10 of these are still going to be pretty wide. And it's all synced up. So if I flick that lever, you can see all of them close and open at the same time. I've also got up here what I call the Are You Dead light. So this represents your life. Normally it'd be on because you're alive. And then, yeah, this thing happening. But you can also turn it off, in which case this torch turns off. This is how you get your thing to vote. There'll be some item in here, and you get one of them, and you put that somewhere to vote. So this lever, just again, it will represent what's going to happen automatically. But that gets moved there, it will drop the item, and then this will get pulled back. So if you're dead, if the light's off, this torch is also off, so nothing happens. If I let's put some birch wood in there, and then when the player is dead, nothing happens. But if they're alive, if the light is on and this torch is on, so suddenly when this dropper moves into that space, it's powered, and one of the items has gotten dropped down here. I do need to add a system that controls the items that flow into the dropper, because obviously what you could now do is reach in here and take all of your items and vote more than once. I don't think anyone would do this, because I mean it does rely on people being nice people at some level, but I want to have as much automation as possible. And so I've got a long grind ahead of me now, just copying out these designs, repeating them over and over, and building the interior of rooms. Let's go! done, you can see here each room is complete and it has the corresponding bed colour of the person who goes inside, and everything is all synced up. So if I just go over here, you can see the doors are all closed. There's a bit of lag because it's 10 doors moving at once, but it does actually all happen at the same time, and it opens in sync as well. So the next step is the voting system. So I've already, as I said before, I've got the system that will give whatever you use to vote, and I've set up this sort of demonstration area to practice out some redstone ideas. So I think the item is going to be a non-stackable, like a trident. So I've simulated here that each of these, you'll put your trident in some sort of chest or hopper or something, and it will end up in one of these drops. There are 4 things that have tridents and all the rest are empty, and there's varying numbers. So how can we tell which one has the most tridents? Now I could set up a system using comparators to compare each with all the others, but with 10 potential droppers, that means I'd have to compare dropper 1 with droppers 2, 3, 4 and so on to 9, and then dropper 2 with 3, 4, 5 and so on. That would take a while and take a lot of space. So instead I've got this system, and each of these shulker boxes has tridents in, so do the hoppers, and they're all locked right now. So what I'll do is I'll have a system that just goes like that every so often, on a regular clock. So each of these gains 1 more trident. Now we're looking at this one, because this one is actually the one that had the most. It started with 4 tridents, and now it's got 5. 8. Yep. And we get 1 more, this will be completely full. And these shulker boxes are also completely full. So when that happens, these 2 comparators will be equal to each other, which means we'll actually get an output from this one before we get an output from that one. So as soon as this happens one more time, you'll see here now this is on, because the comparator reads this as the same proportional fullness as that. So as soon as we get one of these turning on, I'll make it send a signal around to the clock that's back here to stop it doing more, because we have our fullest one. But of course the problem is, if 2 of them had equal fullness, they'd both turn on at the same time. So over here is a system for what to do if they both turn on at the same time. So right now, neither of these inputs are on, they're being held off by these repeaters. So if I flick this torch, right now, both of them will turn on. You can have a quick look at the redstone here, and I've connected the outputs to these pistons just so you can visually see it from back here. You see that neither of them extends. They do need to turn it off, but that's not a problem. If only one of them, only the one on the right for this one, is going to turn on, then it works just fine. And obviously the same for the one on the left. So essentially you can see what happens. The input split off into 2 branches, one of them with delay, and the other one shuts off the delayed one for the other input. So this is only for 2 obviously, but just to expand it, all I'll need to do is get the one without delay and connect it. So this one's only connected to one thing, but if they're all in a line, so we have another one here maybe, and then more back there or whatever, then I can just connect up with redstone. That's not redstone dust, that's redstone torch, but you get the point. It will connect to all of them, and that's all I have to do. It will turn into redstone spaghetti because it has to work all the way around each other, but as you can see with the rest of the map, I don't really seem to have a problem with redstone spaghetti. I'm quite bored of this right now. So with that said, this has been Dobby, and thanks for watching Gameception episode 4. Yeah, it's 4. Is it? Hang on. I forgot where I was now. But that system's gonna have to wait until next episode because we are out of time for today. We've done a lot. So with that said, this has been Dobby, and thanks for watching Gameception episode 4. If you enjoyed, leave a like or a nice comment, it does mean a lot to us. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.